day and welcome to the Liberator Online Media Reports. In this special edition, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation weekly PIA takes effect in upstream oil sector regulation. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPC) Limited started its activities for the week with a move by stakeholders to begin the implementation of the Petroleum Industry Act (PIA) in the upstream sector of the nation's oil and gas industry. Minister of State for Petroleum Resources Chief Timipre Silva said at a two-day Upstream Stakeholders Forum organized by the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission in Abuja that the process of ratifying the first set of regulation was on.
Silva said regulations will govern the sector in line with Section 216 of the PIA and that the forum was convened to enable stakeholders provide input to fine-tune key regulations as prepared by the NUPRC and the Presidential Steering Committee. It is believed that a robust engagement such as this will create the platform for all of us to brainstorm in a constructive manner.
It will also harness the necessary inputs from various stakeholders to further clarify the draft regulations and the eventual framing of the final regulations for use. The minister stated that though the PIA had removed the uncertainties that hampered investments in the sector, strong regulations were required to keep the industry vibrant and relevant.
He called on the stakeholders to embrace innovation in their operations to enable the industry survive the challenges imposed by the global energy transition. However, the challenge posed by the huge divestment in the hydrocarbon explorations by oil majors in the country in the past as a result of the global energy transition calls for more innovative ways in the exploitation and exploration of fossil fuel in the country.
If we must continue to be relevant at the global stage, we must, in designing any regulation, put in focus how we can balance the energy base load for Nigeria. This will ensure that we will not be left behind in the energy transition trend while still harnessing our rich natural hydrocarbon reserves.
Speaking earlier, the Chief Executive Officer of the NUPRC, Mr. Benga Komolafe, explained that the forum had become a statutory prescription and a critical milestone in the implementation of the PIA. He said that as a law-abiding agency, it was binding on the NUPRC to work expeditiously toward finalizing the regulations for the upstream sector of oil and gas industry.
This, he said, will help in keeping with specific timelines as provided in the PIA. Also, aside from the statutory imperative on the part of the Commission to have the regulations finalized in time-specific manner, there is also the compelling need for us as a nation to conclude the regulation-making process for implementation of the PIA.
This will ensure that the PIA is in full throttle and in a manner that will enable Nigeria to hedge against the impact of energy transition while taking advantage of oil and gas supply gap resulting from the current developments in Russia and Ukraine.
It listed the 6 draft regulations up for review at the forum to include the Nigerian upstream fee and rent regulations, the petroleum licensing round regulations, and the domestic gas delivery obligations regulations. Others are the Nigerian Conversion Regulations, the Nigerian Royalty Regulations, and the Nigerian Host Community Commission Regulations.
He said that the Commission will carry out other similar stakeholders' engagement in the course of the implementation of the PIA. Still, in the week under review, the NNPC Limited and its partners, Total Energies, China National Offshore Oil Corporation, Prime 130, and Sapetro inaugurated 4 projects in Cross River, Delta, rivers in line with their corporate social responsibility (CSR) policies.
The projects, which include a maternal and child referral center located at the University of Calabar Teaching Hospital, Cross River boreholes and water treatment plants at Ikiri River State, Warri in Delta State, and Odukpani in Cross River, were all recently inaugurated and handed over to the beneficiary communities. Speaking at the event, the Group General Manager, National Petroleum Investment Management Services, NAPIMS, Mr. Balawunti, said that the NNPC Limited was committed to the implementation of projects that guarantees sustainable development of its host communities.
These projects were born out of the need to mitigate the obvious gaps in healthcare, quality education, water, and women and youth empowerment as stipulated by the relevant Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. NNPC and its partners are socially responsible organizations that are committed to improving the livelihood of the citizens of our great country, Wunti said.
On his part, the Director, Total Energies Upstream Companies in Nigeria, Mr. Mike Sangster, said that the projects were designed to reduce the negative impacts of the lack of qualitative and technical education. Sangster said that the projects were also designed to reduce maternal and child health, access to clean water, and women and youth empowerment.
He also stated that the project sites were carefully chosen for maximum impact as derived from needs assessment carried out prior to their conception and subsequent deployment. It is important to note that the implementation of this project was achieved through the novel project managers approach.
This approach, which is new in the industry, permits the delivery of projects in remote and challenging environments while ensuring the use of local expertise and stakeholder engagement. I am very happy that the pilot projects are successfully executed. We are using the return on experience to improve our processes and deliver our second and third phases faster and better, Sangster said.
In a related development, NNPC and its partner, Shell Nigeria Exploration and Production Company Limited, SENEPCO, donated a state-of-the-art information and communication technology (ICT) center to the Federal University of Petroleum Resources, Efurun, Delta State. The 100-seater, one-story building was built and equipped by the NNPC and SENEPCO joint venture to promote research, teaching, and learning in conducive environment.
Speaking at the inauguration of the project, the Governor of Delta State, Dr. Ifeanyi Ukowa, said the facility will go a long way in expanding the capacity of the students and staff of the university and enable them compete locally and globally. The governor, who was represented by the State Commissioner for Science and Technology, Jennifer Adesin Efiviroru, applauded NNPC and SNEPCO for their intervention.
An ICT center in the modern world has an immense economic significance and prudent application of the facility to research, teaching and learning will catalyze innovations that will stand the university out among its peers. The Group General Manager of NAPIMS, Mr. Balawunti, described the project as a delight to NNPC.
Wunti noted that the NNPC was committed to making significant impact in the lives of every Nigerian through the delivery of life-enhancing projects as the ones being inaugurated. We are keen on touching lives in many positive ways, and this intervention, like many others delivered through our partners, will go a long way in grooming Nigerian youth for the technological evolution in the world, he said.
Wunti, who was represented by the Deputy Manager, External Affairs, NAPIMS, Mr. Edith Lawson, said that the ICT Center will help create a pool of IT survey professionals whose skills will be of high necessity and demand globally. The ICT Center is equipped with 100 computers with licensed software, a Wi-Fi launch, computer laboratories, conference rooms, a lecture hall, office spaces, and equipment rooms.
The facility also included smart interactive boards and a 100 kVA generator. Meanwhile, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Chief Timipri Silva, called for increased investments in the nation's oil and gas industry to boost gas development and supply as European countries turn to Nigeria for their gas supply needs.
The minister made the call during a visit of the delegation from the Kingdom of Belgium led by its ambassador to Nigeria. Nigeria, Mr. Daniel Dargent. While welcoming the Belgian delegation, Silva said that with its abundant natural gas resources, Nigeria was well positioned to fill the current gas supply gap being experienced in parts of Europe.
He, however, said that there was need to increase investments in gas development in the country to fully achieve the aspiration of boosting gas exports. The minister also urged investors to explore the opportunities in the nation's downstream sector, especially in the areas of gas plants and pipelines, to support the promotion of federal government's plan to introduce autogas.
Speaking earlier on the purpose of the visit, Dargent said the Kingdom of Belgium was interested in importing more gas for Nigeria and would like to know what challenges the country had in achieving that. He promised to provide the minister with a list of potential investors by June 2022 and to follow up with discussions in October when a group of Belgian investors were expected to be on ground in the country.
And that's all we have in today's edition of the Liberator Online Media Report. On behalf of the Executive Director, Engineer Dr. Kailani Mohammed, and the entire production crew, with my colleague in the studios, Mohammed Hudu Umar, my name is Umar Usman. Thanking you very much for staying tuned.